Home Values Real Estate Blog, Understanding Agency Relationships. Realtor and Area Specialist Mike and Jennifer Rigley here, bringing you the latest real estate information. Thank you for joining us. Hey, today let's talk about understanding agency relationships. It's important to understand what legal responsibility your real estate salesperson has to you and to other parties in the transaction. Ask what type of agency relationship your agent has with you. Now, the seller's representation, also known as the listing agent or seller's agent. A seller's agent is hired by and represents the seller. All fiduciary duties are owed to the seller. The agency relationship is usually created by a listing contract. Buyer's representation, also known as a buyer's agent or a selling agent. A buyer's agent is hired by prospective buyers to represent them in a real estate transaction. The buyer's representative works in the buyer's best interest through the transaction and owes fiduciary duties to the buyer and the buyer only. The buyer can pay the licensee directly through a negotiated fee, or the buyer's rep may be paid by the seller or through a commission split with the seller's agent. Now, the subagent. A subagent owes the same fiduciary duties to the agent's client as the agent does. Subagency usually arises when a cooperating sales associate from another brokerage who is not the buyer's agent shows property to a buyer. In such a case, the subagent works with the buyer as a client but owes fiduciary duties to the listing broker and the seller. Although a subagent cannot assist the buyer in any way that would be detrimental to the seller, a buyer-client relationship can expect to be treated honestly by the subagent. It is important that the subagents fully explain their duties to the buyers. Disclose dual agency. Dual agency is a relationship in which the brokerage firm represents both the buyer and the seller in the same real estate transaction. Dual agency relationships do not carry with them all of the traditional fiduciary duties to the clients. Instead, dual agents owe limited fiduciary duties. Because of the potential for conflicts of interest in a dual agency relationship, it is vital that all parties give their informed consent. In many states, this consent must be in writing, as it is in California. Disclosed dual agency, in which both the buyer and seller are told that the agent is representing both of them, is legal in most states, as it is in California. Designated agent, also referred to as appointed agent. This is a brokerage practice that allows the managing brokerage to designate with licensees in the brokerage who will act as an agent of the seller and which will act as the agent of the buyer. Designated agency avoids the problem of creating a dual agency relationships for licensees at the brokerage. The designated agents give their clients full representation with all of the attendant fiduciary duties. The broker still has the responsibility of supervising both groups of licensees, though. Non-agency relationships, called among other things a transaction broker or facilitators. Some states permit a real estate licensee to have a type of non-agency relationship with a client. These relationships vary considerably from state to state, both as to the duties owed to the consumer and the name used to describe them. Very generally, the duties owed to the consumer in a non-agency relationship are less than the complete traditional fiduciary duties of an agency relationship. Hope that helps a little bit. Now, what's your home worth? Call us today at 916-396-7487 for a free, no-obligation private consultation, or log on to www.wrigleyrealtygroup.com to find out. Call us today. You'll be glad you did, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.